Ladies and gentlemen, Geri Petito.
I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. And in time, this too shall pass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Geri Petito taught the class. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Loves the answer, the greener grass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. One day at a time, free at last.
When you don't know just what to do.
Just what to do, just what to do.
If what you're feeling is really true.
Is it really true? Is it really true?
Just keep your ideas safe and sound.
Safe and sound, safe and sound.
That's exactly how change is found.
Change is found, change is found. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. And in time, this too shall pass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Geri Petito taught the class. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Loves the answer, the greener grass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. One day at a time, free at last.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Geri Petito Show. Guys, everyone and anyone who knows me knows I am the author of I'm Not an Addict, I'm Just an Ass. I'd rather be a smartass than a dumbass, guys, because 32 years ago, I was a dumbass. But through the grace of God, I can honestly say now, 32 years later, I'm a smartass. Yes, the word ass is in the Bible at least 40 times, and it means donkey, and that's what I was. I'm saying all that to say this, guys. You know, we've all had the roughest few years of our lives all over the world, right? And unfortunately, a lot of people didn't make it, including family and friends of mine. So I need everyone out there to know that someone is listening. You're not alone, okay? I'm a recovery coach. I'm a nutritional health coach. All my services to you are free. Please, please reach out, okay? And if you think my book can help someone, which I do, you can go to Simon & Schuster's bookstore, Archway Publishing. It's on Amazon, Barnes & Noble. It's everywhere. You can go to my website, www.geripetito.com. The page is there. You could order it from there. Please subscribe to the Geri Petito Show YouTube channel. A lot's happening, and you can see most of my shows there. And guys, if you truly, truly, truly cannot afford my book and really need it, please reach out to me about that as well. Okay? Someone is always listening. I am here for you. I just want to mention two of my sponsors. This guy right here, Anthony Hudson, presidential candidate 2024. People before politics. I normally don't get involved with politics, but I'm going to tell you why I made an exception with these two. First of all, myself and Ruben, the other owner of Hamilton Radio, the producer here, we were invited to Yuma, Arizona in February with this man, okay, and a couple of his staff members, one of them Kevin, I've become pretty close with. And we got to meet him, know him, and we got to go to all the borders with the Border Patrol and the Sheriff Department. We got to see firsthand from 10 a.m. in the morning till 2 a.m. in the morning, okay, all the borders. And we got to see firsthand what was really happening. And I got to hug the children coming in and everything, and some of them were coming in alone. So this man is really, really trying to help and change this horrendous situation. And then my next sponsor, Brian Buckinfuso. We know him as Bucky here because he's a retired Robbinsville, Washington Township police officer. I've known him most of my life. And he ran for sheriff a couple years ago, and he's running again for Mercer County Sheriff, guys. So please, please, put your votes in for Anthony Hudson, President 2024, and Bucky, okay, for Washington Township, Robbinsville Sheriff Department, okay? Having said that, Mercer County Sheriff Department, having said that, you know I always bring it, right, guys? Well, today I'm really bringing it, all right, because I got this really cool chick with me. And before I introduce you, girl, I'm going to read a poem I wrote about you, okay? I used to write poems for all my guests, but I do so many shows now, it's impossible. But I made an exception here tonight because of your story and who you are. All right? Not only do I love cowboys, I am a poet as well. So here we go. I hope you like it. My guest tonight is really cool. This here lady ain't no one's fool. Casey LaCourse is her name. Cowboy poetry is her game. Yes, that's right. You heard me. She's not a boy. She's a she. Proud of her belts that she has won, contests of poets, she got it done. Her 2 CDs got great reviews. She loves to flirt and loves to schmooze. Rumor has it the corner she works makes decent money with extra perks. Not that corner, you silly fools. A crossing guard is where she rules. History of the Old West has Casey on her heels. Pioneer women tossed the men in a buggy with 4 wheels. The Western Circle of her peers, of which Casey is not part, created a showcase for the West from her spirit and her heart. Stories and people inspire her so you can become a friend or even a foe. But if she likes you with what she's learned, into a cowboy you now are turned. Once a door closes, she kicks it in. Her cowboy boot says, now we win. She has no fear. She's been through a lot. She tips her hat. She calls the shot. A cancer survivor and hard worker is she. She'll never give up, as loyal as can be. An international traveler who loves to be free, traveling the world with so much to see. A devoted friend she'll always be. Her God-given talent, she gives it for free. She mastered her gift and wanting to share. Casey, my platform is for others to hear. The Geri Petito Show is honored today with Casey LaCourse as my guest. Hooray! Hey, girl!
All right, man, Geri, that was great. I love that. You got it all right there.
So,
That was,
oh my
yeah.
gosh. So, I know we've talked about this, but on air for everyone to hear, I got to ask. All right?
Sure.
So why are you the cowboy poet and not the cowgirl poet? Let's hear it.
All right. Well, you know what? It's the genre. It shouldn't be about boys, girls, men, women, children. It's the spirit.
Okay.
That's what it's about. And I don't think it should be put in a box like that. And, oh, she's a cowgirl poet, she's a cowboy poet, she's a teen poet. It's about the content. And the content is what's important.
Beautiful. So why don't we start with this? Why don't you talk a little bit about what started you in all this? Let's hear your story.
Sure. I've always been interested in the cowboy lifestyle, the freedom that it offers. I ride a motorcycle, which kind of, I guess I interpreted that to be a horse at times, you know. And it just, the freedom of their life and just the hard work has always inspired me, and I've always liked it. And I was reading a cowboy's, and I've always dabbled with rhyming here and there in my life, never really thought much about it. But I was reading a Cowboys and Indians magazine in 2015, and there was a poem in there, and I thought, I don't know how it got published in that magazine, and I thought, man, I can do better than that. So I sat down and I wrote a poem, and that was my first experience with writing quote-unquote cowboy poetry. And I got a hold of my niece, Melissa, who is my soundboard and my pard, and I said, what do you think of this? And she said, who wrote that? I said, I did. And she said, I like it. So then that got me thinking there must be somewhere where I can take this and recite it. So I started looking for open mics, and I got directed by a very good lady that was the editor of Cowboy Poetry Online, and Margot Metagrano. And I reached out to her, and with all her busy life, she found time to get back to me and said, you need to head to Elko, Nevada. They have an annual, it's one of the largest in the country's Cowboy Poetry.
That's
You're
so
looking
cool.
for open mic.
All right, continue. Oh my gosh, you just got me with that. Go ahead.
Yeah. And so I packed up my bags and went with my niece to Elko. I'd never done this before, and it changed my life. The people that I met there were kind, gracious. I was a newbie. I didn't know anything, and I met 3 people there. Floyd and Valerie Beard brings me to tears, and my ever friend Susie Knight. All 3 talented, award-winning cowboy poets and singers, songwriters, and I latched onto them, and I didn't know how lucky I was to have found them. And still all good friends today. And Susie and I talk all the time. And she changed my life. She changed my life, mentored me, helped me, everything. So there you go.
So let me ask you something. Would you like to honor
Yeah.
us with a poem?
Sure, I sure would. I sure would. Now, I had a very good friend, John Anita Plumley, an award-winning cowboy Western singer, songwriter, and poet, and very good friend. And I lost her to cancer in 2021. And another good friend of mine has an annual poetry gathering, and she decided to have a poetry gathering and have one of the contests be and name it the Dawn Anita Memorial Tribute Poetry Contest. And I won. I was the first one to win this belt buckle.
Aw.
And it's got Dawn Anita Memorial on there. So I wrote this
Beautiful
poem.
girl.
And thank you. I wrote this poem for her. And it's titled, There's Something Missing.
Are we all going to cry?
You might. I know
Okay.
I might.
Okay.
There's something missing in my day. What is it I've lost along the way? Not boots or hat or saddle worn, but I feel it in my heart. There's something torn. One foot in front of the others, I rise out of bed each morning. I'm breathing, but my breath feels smothered. I find it sad confronting the unknown when one of the pack travels on alone. As night descends and a cold wind blows, I'm uncertain. I don't know. Do I hear a voice I recognize? I wipe away the tears that fill my eyes. As I spur my horse, I smile and slowly realize I have one more trail left to ride. Out of my way, boys, you see? I'm in a hurry, and earthly plans no longer carry weight. I'm meeting an old friend, and she's waiting at heaven's gate.
Wow. Okay. So that was beautiful.
Thank you.
I'm giving you a standing ovation from my seat.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah.
I have to
I was
share
real
something
proud.
real quick with you, and then you continue, because you mentioned Heaven's Gate. So when my father passed, I wrote a poem, of course, and I love Elvis, and I gave the funeral home Elvis's Gospel, okay? And they played 3 songs, and I told them when, and my father went out to How Great Thou Art. But here's the ending of the poem. But when I get to heaven, when I get to heaven, the music will start. Elvis Presley will be singing, How Great Thou Art. Okay, so it just brought, emotion to me. So that was very beautiful how you ended that poem.
Thank you. Thank you. And you and I, and so many the listeners and people we know, that gate's going to be crowded. That gate's going to be crowded, and they're going to be opening that gate for us. I know. There's a lot of people up there. Yeah.
Beautiful. Beautiful. So,
Thank you.
you know, tell us a little bit about, well, let's do this. I don't want to forget to do this, okay? Do you have websites and all that? I want to get that out there so people can hear it.
You know what? I don't have quote unquote a website, but I am on Facebook under KC LaCourse, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube.
Okay.
And I have a showcase called Hearts of the West, and it is a 10 to 15 minute video showcase that I created about 2.5, 3 years ago. And I've had over 200 performers on there. A lot of them are award winning. I've had Clint Bradley from the UK on there. He has won many awards. I've had Ron Christopher, an AWA Western singer-songwriter. He's been on there. Carol Markstrom, Ron Christopher, Dawn Anita, who I lost, and just so many people. There's always someone different on there, and I put it out every other week. And y'all should check it out, because there'll be someone on there you'll find that you like. There's something for everybody on there. And I created the showcase because it was so hard to get around to all the poetry gatherings. And then when COVID happened, I thought, I really need to keep this going and create something bigger so that we can all stay joined. I didn't want us all to separate, and I wanted us all kind of sitting around the TV, the radio back in the old 50s, and to get tuned into that, and where we could all get together and see our friends again. So I've stuck with it.
That's really cool what you've done, Casey. Oh my goodness, how amazing.
Thank
Oh
you.
my
Well,
goodness.
it's been good to me. It's been real good to me. It's I have to compliment Mark Eckel, a radio DJ and host on Facebook, that with Oz CMR. Gene knows him. They were partners at one time, and through him, he plays my poetry, and he plays me as a featured guest with Dawn Anita. And God bless him, because it's gotten my name out there, and everybody, I go somewhere and they know Casey LaCourse. It's been pretty cool. It's gotten me, I've performed in Australia, and I'm going to Holland for the Red Carpet Awards. They had never heard of cowboy poetry, so I emailed the creators and said, why, you have 250 categories, why don't you have one for cowboy poetry? And they said, we never heard of it. And they said, would you like to come out at the Red Carpet Awards and show us what it is and recite a few poems? And I said, I'm there. So pretty good opportunities I've had. My cowboy poetry has been real good to me. And Mark Eckel, Bobby Jean Bell, there's some other radio hosts, Billy Bowles with Western Swing. They play my poetry, and it just means the world to me. Just means the world to me, because it keeps me out there, and the spoken word, I think, is a beautiful thing. So
I have a
there you
question
go.
for you, Casey. So Mark Eckel, does he have a ton of photos on his thing on Facebook? Does it say Mildura a day?
No.
Because someone
It
sent me a friend
very well-
request, Mark Eckel, Mildura a day, and a bunch of photos.
Yeah,
Is that
it could
him?
be. He's got a couple. He's got Mark Eckel. Then you'll probably find him under Oz Country Music Radio.
But it's okay to accept this?
Yes. Oh, absolutely. Yes. Thank
Okay,
you.
so I didn't
Yeah,
want-
thank
okay.
you for. Yeah, he told me he put in a friend request.
Oh, because he
I'm
didn't
so
send me
glad
a
you're
message. Yeah, he didn't send me a message. All right, so I just accepted it, so that's good. So he'll be able to see
God,
the
this
show.
is great. Yeah, he's the best. He's been doing. Gene can tell you, he's the best. He is a hell of a promoter, and yes, he got me a performance out there in Mildura for the Mildura Wentworth Country Music Festival last year, and it's the largest country music festival in the Southern Hemisphere.
Okay.
And I was absolutely thrilled to be out there. It was so much fun. I got to meet a lot of my Facebook friends. I'm going back again this year, so yeah,
I'm
it was
tagging
great.
him right now. I'm not ignoring you, sweetie.
Oh,
Yep, I just want to get that done because, all right.
perfect.
Okay, so he'll have it, and then he can watch the rest of this, and then he can start from
Oh,
the beginning.
that's great. He's probably going on air right now,
Okay.
so
As long as, yeah,
he'll have
just-
to.
Okay,
Yeah.
there you go. Good. Now,
Yeah.
so we have so much in common. The cancer surviving,
I know.
the traveling, the
It's
poetry.
amazing.
Okay, I've been to Holland, I've been to Australia several times, all over the world, right? Okay. So I'm going to ask you a couple questions that I need to know because I love asking certain questions. So what's one of your favorite places all over the world? So where do you love?
You know what? Really, seriously, I loved Australia.
Me too.
I went to London and Paris.
Yep.
Paris was definitely grooving.
Yep.
But there's something about Australia and the open spaces and the calmness of that country. I live in Las Vegas, and it's crazy, and it's a high tension place. And at this stage in my life, Australia brings me a lot of peace and calm, and I have great friends over there now. And of course, Mark, and he does the best he can to promote me whenever I come over there. And my heart, I went to Sydney, the Great Barrier Reef, and I'll tell you, I really had a good time over there. Everyone is so nice.
Yep.
They're so nice, you know, and you just don't find that everywhere, you know. It was a nice, steady, easy breeze when I was there, and I really enjoyed it.
I owned a poker league, and I became friends with hundreds of Australians. And when I go there, I stay with my friends. And
That's great.
I've been there a ton of times, and I have photos with me laying with kangaroo, kissing their babies in their pouches. Okay,
Love that.
my favorite place in the world, Australia, guys. Okay, I went to the Crocodile Dundee's zoo, and
Oh my God.
this was the first time this ever happened, because if you take photos with koalas, you have to put your hands like this, and they don't have a spine. So they sit these little koalas in your hands, and you can't hug them or nothing, and you get the photo. When I went
Okay.
there, I met the family. They had this giant koala. They threw him at me. He's grabbing my boobs. I'm like, this is the greatest boob job I ever had. Listen, this gigantic koala, I was like in heaven, okay? So I had this, I'm
Oh my
hugging
God.
him. It was amazing.
Yeah, love it.
Amazing.
Love it.
So now, okay, so now Australia, good. So now, do you have a favorite singer? Do you have a favorite entertainer? Let's talk about that a minute.
Sure. Well, you know, Elvis. Here we go.
Here we
Right,
go.
Gary? I mean, Elvis, of course, and Mark has. I hate to keep bringing it up, but I listen to his station, and there's so many Australian performers that are absolutely brilliant. Donna Fisk, she's got a song out right now called "B." Oh my God, Jared, you got to listen to
Okay.
this song, Donna Fisk, "B." It's phenomenal. I love Anne Marie Paterno.
Oh, yes,
She lives
I
down in
love
Nashville.
Anne-Marie. Yes, of course.
Yeah, right? How does that girl, has she got some
Yes,
grit?
she does.
Man,
Hello, Anne-Marie.
isn't
We
she
love you.
fantastic?
Yes.
She's something, boy. I'll tell you, and she is a hoot. She came out here to Las Vegas, and we met, and we had a real good time together. Yeah, I love her. So you kind of caught me a little bit off guard there, but yeah, you know, Elvis, of course, stands out top of the drawer. I go to extremes. I can go anywhere. I love George Strait, you know,
Yeah.
Elvis, Mink DeVille, which was a
Okay.
cult band, you know, from back east. Willie DeVille died, so the band cut, but I mean, it was just, man, he was really something. That band was really something. So I don't know what else to say.
Okay,
I
no,
can
that's
say.
cool. I like to hear that kind of stuff. I ask everybody that. So now, could you honor us with another poem?
Sure.
Okay.
I've got a real good one. It was on my last CD, and it's about the Western women didn't have back in the old days, they didn't have too many opportunities for jobs, so they had to do what they had to do to survive.
Okay.
And this is titled "The Ghost."
Okay.
I'm just a ghost in some drover's mind to choose me, if so inclined. I watch as they ride into town, pockets heavy with money that weighs them down. What are they looking for and hope to find? The problems they had are left far behind. Young or old, greenhorn or not, they all come to me for services to be bought. 'Cause you see, he's looking for company at night. And women of my kind, well, we're not too hard to find. And the cowboy will pledge his love undying. Maybe this time he won't be lying. And just before the pink of daylight, he'll pick up his boots where they fell on the floor. At the same time, he'll reach for the door. Final look, the perfumed ribbon was all he took. His lips parted as if to kiss her. Instead, he mouths a promised whisper. The boys are calling as he slinks down the hall. She awakens to stare at the wall. Just another day in the working girl grind. Just a ghost in some drover's mind.
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
I'm going to share something with you. So, you know, I love the Lord, and there's a lot of Christians out there that judge people, and I'm not one of them. And I was younger. I was in my 20s, and I was told this by, at the time, a very judgmental relative Christian. And I told her to stop judging people. And she said, "You don't judge anyone, not even prostitutes." And I said, "I wouldn't." I said, "Those prostitutes didn't wake up one day and say, 'This is what I want to do.' Those prostitutes may have been raped by an uncle. They might have a child at home they have to feed." I said, "I'll never, ever judge them." And, as I got older, I'm 62 now, and as I got older, Casey, I started thinking about silly things, right? Now, let's put this in perspective for anyone out there listening who thinks they have a right to judge these prostitutes, okay? You have sex for free, sometimes with more guys than not. That's
Yep.
okay, but not the poor woman who's trying to feed her baby.
Yeah.
I just had to say that because that poem resonated with that event years ago, and that was a beautiful, beautiful poem.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. It's not always easy, and they had to do what they had to do back then, and there you go. It was a sad life, but it's a part of their reality, and that is something else that inspires me when I write. I don't live the ranch life. I'm not a buckaroo. I don't pretend to be, but that Western spirit is my reality, and I live it and write about it the best of my ability. That's what keeps me going. I see stories in people, and people that I meet. If something about them strikes me, like you said in your poem, I'll turn them into a cowboy. I'll turn them into a cowboy, and I'll write about them. And I've done that with a lot of my poems. And I love the Western history. I have a lot of factual poems. I have one about the Alamo, Custer, and I do a lot of research. I don't just casually write them. I do a lot of research, and when I do a historical poem, it's factual and it's correct. And I enjoy doing those too. I
love that too. I interviewed some Native Americans, and this woman came from her town, and she came to my home, and I brought her live in studio, and I wrote a poem, and it was pages long because I really researched their lives and what went on with the schools and everything. So it's all in there. And I do the same. So again, we have so much in common, you and I. Wow.
It's amazing.
Wow.
I know.
So
I know.
So what's happening now? You want to tell everybody, what's going on?
Sure. Okay. Right now, I had one of my poems, which was really an honor, turned into, I don't know if you can see this, by Warren Carney, a fabulous Australian singer. He took a shine to one of my poems called Music Fallen, and he turned it, one of my poems, and he turned it into a song. And it charted, and it was really an honor to have Warren, because Warren's got about 50-year career of doing singing and songwriting. And it was really cool. And it's called Music Fallen, and it's on his YouTube channel. And it's about my friend Dawn Anita again. She's sitting right here. And she's in my heart. And I wear some people out with this, but I'm sorry. She was a good friend, and I miss her.
That's beautiful.
And it was about music notes fallen from heaven, because there's so many people up there now. And the music notes, what do they do with all those music notes that are left over? Well, they let them fall down to us like gentle rain. And I know that's her speaking to me, telling me she's okay. She's up there making music with Elvis.
With Elvis, baby. Yes.
There you go. And she's okay. So I think that Warren was intrigued with that thought, and he put it to a lovely song, and it's on his YouTube channel, and I think it's on my YouTube channel also, Warren Carney. So have a listen to it. It's a beautiful song. Beautiful song.
I had 2 entertainer friends take a couple of my poems and make them into songs, so we're working on that. That's cool. Very cool.
It's such an honor, isn't it?
Yes.
I mean, I would love to be a lyricist. Oh, boy, would I love to do that. But I have to learn how to write in song prose,
Yeah.
And I'm also working on, I have a friend, Bill Tumbleweed, and he's from Texas, and he's got some good stories about his family, the old Annie Oakley stories. So I created a booklet for him about his stories, and he's going to be having these for sale, I think, on his Facebook page. So I do a little bit of something. I film videos. I've won a couple of awards with Cowpokes International Film Festival that I'm real proud of. And I made it with Baxter Black, wrote a song for Susie Knight, my friend, and Baxter Black has been on Johnny Carson. We lost him this last year, too. Mm-hmm. He's a very famous, world-renowned poet. And he wrote this song, and I said, Susie, you need to have a video for this song. And so we created a video, and it's got 6.6K views now.
Beautiful.
On my YouTube. Yeah. So I dabble in a little bit of everything, and I'm always, I help my friends, like you with your book, he can't afford to do this and get his stories. I'll do it for you, because I do computer graphics. I work with in Adobe, their suite, Premiere Pro. I put out my showcase. So, I'm there. If somebody needs something, I'm there for them, and I help them to get what they need to get out there. That's what I do. I'm all over the place.
Beautiful. Okay, so want to read another poem?
Sure. As a matter of fact, let me see.
Okay.
This one is a couple of my friends lost their husbands to illnesses, and it was very sad. And it inspired me to write this following poem, and it's titled Another Day.
Okay.
I wake to coffee. It fills the house. The floor feels cold as I move about. I look out the window. Snow is coming, no doubt. He's there in his Gus and worn-out jeans, no longer blue, but the color of dust. He's a good man, no drama, no fuss. I pull on my boots and jeans, get breakfast going, wash a few dishes in between. I open the door to call him inside. Then I wake up, no longer a young bride. The bed is empty on his side. No medicine smell or sick-stained sheets. The years matched by the tears I've cried. No more hours filled with doctors to meet. Life should once again be sweet. Well, I'm thinking, it's another lonely day of ranching. It sure felt real what I was seeing. I think I'll close my eyes and keep on dreaming.
It's beautiful. Wow, it really is. All right, so let me ask you this then.
Sure.
Every once in a while, not a lot, but every once in a while I would have been on the road, and all of a sudden something pops into my head that I have to write. So I'll pull over, get my pad and pen, and I just write a couple things. And does that happen to you as well?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. I have sat in concerts with friends, and whatever I have, I always have a pen, whatever I have to write on, I said, I got to get this down. I scratch something out. And at night, in the quiet, I something will wake me up, and I start writing in the quiet of the night. I'm working on my corner as a school crossing guard. Nothing's going on. I write.
Yep.
It just, I'll hear a line, I'll see something. Yeah, I do the same thing. Because you don't want to lose that thought.
That's right.
Because you don't think you will.
Yes.
But you will.
You
will. And so you have to grab it when you can, because inspiration comes when least expected.
That's right.
It pulls at you, and you have to answer that. So,
How old were you when you wrote your very first poem? Do you remember? Were you young?
When I wrote my very, not really. I wasn't. I have an odd disability, and this disability, I didn't find out about it. I knew I always had a problem, but I didn't know that there was a name for it. They have a name for it now. I was going to community college here in Nevada, and I would hand in some of my school assignments in rhyme. I don't know why. I thought it was brilliant. The teachers, not so much. but my communication teacher, she got a big kick out of it, and like I said, so then I started saying, I seem to have a knack for this, and I don't know why. So I guess what I can't do because of my strange disability, it has brought this rhyming out in me, and I'm just kind of riding it, you know. I'm just
Wow.
going with it, and I'll write a poem just about for anybody about anything, and yeah,
Wow, that's really interesting. Okay,
yeah.
wow.
So kind of what God gave me this extra burden, which held me back from doing a couple of things in life, but I just thought it was me. I just wasn't very bright, but it's yeah, it's a legitimate odd disability, and so he gave me this gift of spoken word, and it's my reality, and I put it out there, and I think it's relatable what I say if you listen to what I'm saying,
Yes.
and you do. Thank you very much. I
Yes.
appreciate that. So, you know, we're
Wow.
the poets and the artists. We keep the world spinning.
That's right. I'm not into astrology, but I'm a Pisces, and I am true to my sign, I could tell you. I always laugh and say I'm the good fish and bad fish swimming in opposite directions. And so I remember growing up and always wanting to think outside of that box. I never had a
Yeah.
box. And I love to draw. I went to art school and I
Oh,
write
I
and
draw too. Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
and
Yeah.
poetry. And I always said, I'm so right-brained. You know what I mean? I don't even know what the left part of the brain is like. Okay?
I'm telling you. Where is it? I don't know because it's not in
Okay?
my head.
So
You
crazy.
know,
It's so crazy. Um,
it is.
I've
It
been
is.
doing this since I was young. I had to. This is crazy. I had to do an English assignment, and it wasn't supposed to be in poetry. And I'm
Yep.
up all night, and I have a photo of this, and I'll send it to you one day. There's an orange bag on the floor in my bedroom with a hot pink rug at the time, right? And I'm throwing all the papers in because I just couldn't do it. I didn't know what. I just couldn't get it. All of a sudden, I'm woken up early in the morning, and I hear that something's in the bag, and the papers are going crunch, crunch, crunch.
Oh
So
my
I
God.
get my camera, because I always had my camera, and I was probably in 7th grade. So I get my camera, and I'm like, I didn't care if it was a mouse or what, because I love all that anyway. None of that bothers me. And I was like, what's in it?
Okay.
And it was my cat. And my cat's face looked out like I just got caught. So I have this framed in my office to this day, the little poem I wrote with the photo of the cat looking. I
Oh, I
found a
love it.
bag just lying there with papers all inside. I knew it'd be a real swell place for me to sit and hide. I heard some noise, I saw some feet, and then I got all flustered, and then I looked up and heard you're busted. Okay? So I got an A+ on it. Okay? I was in 7th grade. I was like,
I love
this is
that.
my road. This is my road, girl. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
all right, so I don't want,
too
we still
adorable.
have time. I don't want you to get off thinking, I forgot to talk about this or this. The mic is yours,
All right.
Casey. Is there anything else you'd like to, get out?
Uh, you know what? Thank you. You're a sweetheart. I'm going to a poetry gathering at Crossroads Ranch, April 25th through the 30th. If any cowboy poets are out there, y'all are invited to come out there. There's contests. There's great eats. There God-fearing people. She ministers, Dove and Mike Schmidt. They minister to people out at this ranch. And I'm looking forward to going out there and reciting. And she's where this is where I won my belt buckles, and I'm going out there again. So, God willing, I'll have a good time. And I'm going to Australia
Yay.
in August and Holland in August. And yeah, tune into Hearts of the West, you guys. It's a great showcase, and if you're talented, you got something you want, it's Western, reach out and give me a message. I'll love to have you on. And I want to put your book on, because I also
Thank you.
have created books of the West.
Thank you.
Now, it may not be the West, but it's a good book, and
Thank
I think
you.
it needs to be showcased. So, Jerry, I'll get with you on
Yep.
that, and
Thank you, Casey.
we'll have your book showcased on there. Absolutely.
Thank you. So I'm going to read a poem out of my book, but before I do that, do you want to close your segment with another poem, or are you okay with what you read?
You know what? I've got one here. Let me
Yes.
find it real
Yes.
quick.
That's fine. Take
It's
your
kind
time.
of
I would love
for
another
you.
poem.
I hope I can find it. Oh my God. I should have had it more on top.
That's okay.
It's about I don't think I can wait, maybe this is it. It's about the Murray. I can't find it quick enough. Sorry. It's about the Murray River. And when I was out there, I woke up on the Murray. Oh, here it is.
Oh, great.
I'll do this. It's a short one, okay?
Yes. No, take your time.
And is it all right?
I want to hear another poem. Yes.
Okay, it's called the Murray.
Okay.
And there's a river. It's the river in Australia, and it's the second largest navigational river in the world, the Murray River. And in Mildura, where they have this festival, the Murray, it means a lot to these people because it became an irrigation system so that they could grow and have agriculture there. The Chaffee brothers from California came out there and they invented this crazy huge pump to irrigate all of the land in Mildura, and the Murray River pulls that and it brings life to people. So the Murray's a big deal, and this is titled The Murray. I woke up on the Murray, the sky, a lovely shade of pink. It seemed to call to me and give me pause to think how lucky I am that God, in all his grace, has sent me to this place. The day is breaking and wind blowing, light as a feather. Busy day, friends to meet. Kerrigan, Neil, Robin, Joy, and Heather. A new adventure has begun. I don't know how it ends. I'm certain, no matter what, I'm going to have some fun. The sun is waking up, warming all of Mother Earth, slowly, not too fast. Drinking in what it can, we want it all to last. The spirit of the indigenous lives in the beauty of no hurry, in this lovely place you've all shared with me right here on the Murray.
I love that, man. Plus, listen, my heart is in Australia, honey. That is amazing.
Thank you. Yeah.
That's so
Thank
cool.
you. You know what? I was with Neil MacArthur, a very famous bush poet over there. He's called the Ragbag Poet of Australia. And I was very fortunate to be on his list of poets for this brekkie that we had at the hotel, Grand Hotel in Mildura for five mornings. And I got to see Neil MacArthur recite. And boy, he's something. You know, when you see greatness, you recognize it immediately. And he is a fantastic bush poet. You should check him out.
So amazing. Send me all these links, all these people.
I know, right? I will. Thank you. Thank you very
Yes.
much.
So I want to read a poem out of my book.
Okay.
And the reason why I always choose this poem for most shows is because you and I are nothing special. God made us all with talents. But you and I figured out what they were, and we use them. So everyone needs to do that. So this poem is called Utilizing Gifts and Talents. Okay?
Okay.
We are born with talents, we are born with drive, with different gifts to help us thrive. I knew early on I was born to draw and paint, to also write poetry, and to talk without restraint. Our gifts and talents should all be used, God's gift to us not be abused. We can go far in life for sure, using our gifts to go on tour. All our talents should be used to create ourselves and more, but then our job's to share them, to even up the score. You see, in life, what's needed is not just for ourselves. Once our gifts are mastered, take them off the shelves. A living we can make by spreading them around, not just for the money, to spread a peaceful sound. So don't take for granted the gifts you're given. Go out and spread the joy. Our gifts are not to be held back for us to self-destroy. Put your efforts forth. Do not hesitate. All your talents, my friend, are never second-rate. Never hold them back or you will surely die. Maybe not in body, but your soul will cry. Our gifts were made to share and our talents made to soar. Go through life enlightened and then you can roar. Be proud of who you are. Be happy you're alive. Once again, my friend, your gifts will help you thrive. By putting efforts forth, not keeping them at bay, Casey, your name will live forever, girl, forever and a day. Go through life excited, for what you sure can give to yourself and others is our reason to live. Our grave will be quite lonely, but our legacy lives on. Make sure people smile with the breaking dawn. And that's what you're doing, girlfriend. That's what you're doing. So, I want to say thank you.
Hand in hand, girl. Hand in hand. It's a journey, and we're both on it.
It is a journey. And I want to say thank you for sharing your talent.
Thank you.
Because
yeah,
I love poetry, obviously, and you just made my day, girl, okay? You made my day. Your poetry's incredible. You're incredible. Your spirit's incredible. I love you. I thank you, and you honored me today. So,
thank you. You're a sweetheart. Thank you, sweetie. Thank you.
I would like to ask you to share with everyone listening a few words of inspiration before we close out.
Sure. You know what? I was lost for a long time, and I took. And I find now, at this time in my life, I had addictions, and I beat them. And I had cancer, I beat that, and so far. And every day, it's right there on you. But you have to keep moving forward, and you have to find your inspiration. And I found mine late in life, and I rejoice in giving, because I took for so long, and I rejoice in giving. And anything I can give back to anybody, be it in donation, be it by making a book for someone, a video for someone, a poem that gets turned into a song, I rejoice in giving. And that's what gets me through, is that giving back.
Well, you're beautiful, and you sent me your music, and, I want to thank you for that as well.
Thank you.
And again, what you did for me today, I got to tell you, really touched my spirit. Casey, thank you.
We're kindred. We're predestined, you and I, somehow.
And I love cowboys, by the way. I love cowboys.
You look great in jeans.
Come on. Oh,
right.
So wait. All right. We both got to laugh here. So my producer Ruben just yelled, he loves cowboys too. Okay.
All right.
I just found that out, Case. All new to me. Ruben, take us out. Thank you, Casey. Excellent. Everybody share this video.
I'm going to. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Geri Petito.
I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. And in time, this too shall pass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Geri Petito taught the class. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Love's the answer, the greener grass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. One day at a time, free at last.
When you don't know just what to do.
Just what to do, just what to do.
If what you're feeling is really true.
Is really true, is it really true?
Just keep your ideas safe and sound.
Safe and sound, safe and sound.
That's exactly how change is found.
Change is found, change is found. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. And in time, this too shall pass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Geri Petito taught the class. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Love's the answer, the greener grass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. One day at a time, free at last.